Hi everyone, welcome back to This Book Belongs to Pam, and I have yet another book haul for you. Okay, yes, another book haul. I've got quite a few books here, mostly because I did get some of them before my last book haul, but I wasn't able to include it in that book haul because I got them from the States and my mom brought them over when she visited me last July, so I only got them in July. I don't really have any excuse and I don't really want to give any. Let's just get into it. I just want to share with you the books that I got and the books that I'm really excited for. And as per usual, these are in no particular order. I just have them stacked in here, and whatever I pick first is what we're gonna talk about first. I'm not gonna try and do this in chronological order because I have forgotten when I got the books and which one came first. So let's just dive right into it. So the first one, which is something that I'm really excited for because I've been looking for it for a long time, is Bunny by Mona Awad. Now, I have been looking for this specific edition, the hardcover Bunny, for a long time now. I don't know why it's so hard to buy. Like, you can't get it from Amazon or any bookseller. It might be out of print, but I'm not sure. But the paperback is, it's very easy to get. I actually do also like that because it's that shockingly pink color. But I have a preference for black in general when it comes to like designs and books, so I actually really like this design, so I'm so happy that I finally have it. I got it secondhand. I think I paid like $30 for this, so it's not cheap, but I've honestly seen it go for much more, so I just snapped it when it was around the 30s, like low 30s, and it's in pretty good condition, like really good condition, so I'm really happy that I finally got this. But I do want to reread it because I really enjoyed it the first time I read it on my Kindle. Bunny by Mona Awad. Super excited and happy that I have this now. The next book that I have here is actually a fairy loot book. I'll just organize this like that. This is a fairy loot book. That one that I was actually really anticipating, but I'm not 100% happy with the customization, so I got Evocations by S.T. Gibson. So you all know that I love A Dowry of Blood. It's one of my favorite books. This one is a new book by S.T. Gibson, and it's not related at all to A Dowry of Blood, if I'm not mistaken. But this is still the original, I guess, design or the original illustration in the cover. They just did it in a different colorway. I'm okay with that, but what I'm not happy about is the inside. First of all, so this is the end paper designs. I love it. I love the designs, but I don't know why they chose this like shiny paper on it. I don't know, it just feels childish to me. Like, it reminds me of old children's books, like fantasy children's books, and I don't know, why is it glossy? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I love the illustration, I just don't like the material. And then, well, let me just show you first the naked cover. I actually really like the naked cover, and I also like the sprayed or like digitally sprayed edges. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. And then this is the reverse dust jacket design, which is actually also nice. This one, more gold than red. I like that. I don't mind that. But this is the part that I really hate, and I don't know why they did it. Why are the pages white? Why are they so stark white? Like, usually, let's try and get like a different book here. Like, even with Bunny, like, look at the difference in the warmth of the paper. This is so cool white, like very bright white, and this one is a little bit of a warmth to it. And I know this is used, but it's not, like, I don't think the pages have discolored yet. But this one is just so white. It feels like I just printed it at home and just bound them together. I don't know, I just don't really like the typesetting on this as well. And just the layouting, like, look at all of those very tiny margins. Like, look at how close the page number is to the text. I'm a designer, so these things I really notice, and it's hard for me to not see it. So I know that I'm gonna have a hard time while reading this because I'm just gonna be annoyed. This is the other end paper design. I love it. It's just the paper, like, what, look at that, it's reflecting off of my lights. Why is it shiny? I don't understand. That is why I'm not entirely happy with this book, which is sad because I really did want to love it. It's a book that I've been highly anticipating. But yeah, I will still read it at some point. So, Evocations by S.D. Gibson. The next one is a book that I pre-ordered, and I got this I think I got this about 2 weeks after it launched because it took a while to get to me, like it was delayed. It's The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. So this is the special, or like, it's not a special edition, it's just a first print edition. So it has the black sprayed edges. It's simple but still very, very good. And I think, yeah, we have really nice patterned end papers. I love this. It looks like a vintage flower wallpaper, but this one has pomegranates on it. I don't know why. I don't know if there's like a significance. It just has a plain black cover or naked cover, same print on the other side, and then just, yeah, just very simple but still very classy. I have not heard the best things about this book, but I'm still keeping an open mind. I absolutely love this cover, so if anything, it looks good on my shelf. But hopefully I like it. Hopefully. So that is The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. Next one is another special edition. So this one is Illumicrate. Yeah, this is, I think, my first Illumicrate book, and the reason why I got this and the reason why I subscribed to Illumicrate in the first place was because this book was pitched to me as, if you like Greenbone Saga or Jade City by Fonda Lee, you're gonna love this book. And I love the Greenbone Saga. I love Jade City, so I'm like, okay, let me get this book and try reading it, because I have been searching for a book that would give me that same feeling that Jade City Greenbone Saga did. And let's see if this pans out for me. So this is Phantom Folk by Eliza Chan. It has gold foiling on the title and on the cover. I actually really like how colorful this is. I think it has a similar cover. I'm gonna put the original cover so you can compare. I think the original cover has more of like a blue-green tone. Not quite sure. I don't super remember, but I'm gonna put it on the side so you can compare. So this is the Illumicrate edition. Look at that. This is so beautiful to me. So beautiful. Also, don't mind my nails. I've lost a lot of my acrylics. So that's the back. And then we go into the end papers. So one thing I don't like about it is this one. Why does this look like, look at that. Why it has just the text on this translucent box. Why does that look like something you would make out of PowerPoint? These are the end papers, the same design if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the same design, front and back. I love this naked hardcover. Like, look at that. It looks like a vintage East Asian illustration, and I love that. It's continuous as well. So beautiful. But yeah, that is Phantom Folk. I have not really heard much about this book. I don't know. Oh, it has also digitally sprayed edges, top and bottom. I just haven't seen anything, but that's a good thing. So I can go in super blind. I just hope that I'm not setting it up for failure by expecting Greenbone Saga. But yeah, that is Phantom Folk by Eliza Chan. The next book is quite different for me. I don't think I've really read a lot of these modern classics before, but I have Clarice Lispector's Hour of the Star. I first heard about Clarice Lispector from Leah Crumpton, which is another booktuber. I'm gonna link her down below. She absolutely adores Clarice Lispector, so I became curious and I did a little Google search on which book I should start with. I think the consensus is that it's good to start with her latest work, which is Hour of the Star. So I'm super excited to read this one. It's very thin. I'm actually reading this very, very soon because I'm gonna do it for a video. Yeah, very, very short. And I'm so excited. So, Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector. Next one is the first book that I got off of my Evernight subscription, which is Murder Road by Simone St. James. Honestly, I've not heard the best things about this book, so I'm a little bit nervous. But I am very new to the horror genre. I'm probably a lot easier to please than most of these seasoned horror readers, so I'm banking on that. I'm hoping that would help with my enjoyment of this book. This is a very pretty edition as well. I like the whole old comic look. Super love that. And then you've got very simple sprayed edges, just has like the woods in there. And then inside is actually really cute. It has a map of some sorts for the naked hardcover, and then the end papers are like old photograph looking things, very vintage looking. I love it. Hopefully I enjoy it because I've not heard good things. But I'm just gonna come in with low expectations and hopefully that does the trick. So the next 3 books, I'm gonna show them all together because they are a set. They're a trilogy. Honestly, one of my favorite, I guess, the first book, because I've only read the first book, and I'm very, very excited to read this trilogy, and I'm excited and scared because I know that it will hurt me. That is the Beartown trilogy by Frederick Bachman. So I have Beartown, Us Against You, and then The Withers, which is a chunky book. So Beartown, I have already read this, and I think I rated this 4.5 or 4.75 stars. Absolutely love it. I think even if I reread it again, I could only go up with my rating. But I really, really love this one. I've actually already started reading Us Against You. I'm about 20% in, but I stopped reading it because I realized that I really wanted to read a physical of the book. So I have this one, and then finally the third book, The Winners. So I don't know when I'm gonna be reading the second book or when I'm gonna be finishing that, but definitely this year. I really want to see the story through to the end, and I'm super excited. So yeah, that is the Beartown trilogy by Frederick Bachman. The next one is one of my most anticipated sequels. This is part of a dark rom-com sort of series, and that is Leather and Lark by Breen Weaver. I read Butcher and Blackbird this year, and I was so happy about it. Like, I really had the time of my life while reading that. I love the characters. I love how quirky and funny it is, and I really enjoyed it. So I made sure to pre-order the second book. I haven't read it, but I'm excited to dive back into this world. I know that we're following a completely different couple here, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get cameos from the first book couple. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I think the next one is gonna come out next year as well, so it's gonna be a yearly thing, I suppose. But yeah, Leather and Lark by Breen Weaver. The next one is also something quite different for me. I'm not quite sure how I would classify this. I think it's like a literary sci-fi. I'm not 100% sure, but I picked up I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. Again, I also not learned about this book because I know of this book even before, but I got interested about this after Leah from Leah Crompton talked about it, so I decided to pick it up. And I think G from Book Rose also read this recently and really enjoyed it. So I'm very excited. I think this has like a dystopian thing about like women. Yeah, 39 women live in prison in a cage underground. So very curious about this one. It's also quite short, so hopefully I enjoy this one. I don't know if this is like a modern classic. I don't think so. Yeah, it was published in 1995, so maybe it is. I don't know. And this is also translated work. So yeah, that is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. Also, if I'm sweating, I don't have the fan on right now, so I'm really sorry, but it is what it is. I've been picking up books, honestly, that are like outside of my comfort zone because I do want to expand my reading habits, I suppose. So I also picked this up on a sale at our local bookstore. It's Margaret Atwood's Dearly. So it is a collection of her new poems, I guess. I haven't read any of her old poems, so everything is new to me. So it's just poetry. No idea if there's like a theme to it. I know that she's very well known, very highly acclaimed, so hopefully I love it. The next book that I have here is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. So this is a contemporary romance, and honestly, I just wanted to have more romance books. Currently my romance shelf is a little bit lacking in my opinion. I think I could use more. I've been trying to pick up more romance, and this one has been highly recommended by a lot of people. Kind of thick for a romance book. Yeah, it's kind of thick. I don't love the white. I just don't like bright white paper for books. I wanted them a little bit more warm, but anyway, this is You Again, Kate Goldbeck. Hopefully I love it. If you've read it, let me know if you like it. The next one I got is 100% a cover buy, and also it was part of the sale rack in the local bookstore. I think I bought this the same time as the Margaret Atwood poem collection book. It is All of You, Every Single One by Beatrice Hitcham. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. The cover is really nice. I love the cover, which is why I picked it up, and it was on sale. And I think this is a historical fiction. Yeah, I think it's historical fiction set in Vienna from 1910 to 1946. So I'm gonna go back in time for this one. Oh my gosh, the font is so small. It's so small. Kind of scary. But yeah, that is All of You, Every Single One. Look at that cover. So beautiful. Hopefully the contents are beautiful as well. Okay, the next one that I got is Piglet by Lottie Hazel. I actually have a video idea for this book, but I don't know when I'm gonna be doing it, which is why I bought this book. No idea what this is about. I think this involves unhinged women. Yeah, an elegant razor-sharp debut about women's ambitions and appetites and the truth about having it all. I'm always up for books about unhinged women, women's ambitions, the female rage. So yeah, very curious about this one. Piglet. Love the cover as well. I think it also comes in like different versions where the food painting in the background is different. But yeah, I like the burger though. Okay, the next 3 books that I got, actually I got recently, like last week. The first one is Better by Far by Hazel Hayes. Like I said, I want to expand my romance category in my bookshelves, and this was highly recommended by Jan from Jan Agaton. And I actually don't know if you would call this romance. Maybe it's like a literary romance. I'm not 100% sure, but it sure looks sad. And I think Jan said that she cried a lot when she read this book. So I don't know. Maybe I'm up for crying. But yeah, that is Better by Far by Hazel Hayes. The next book that I got is a sequel of a book that I've already read, which is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. So this is the second book in the Raven Cycle series. I read the first book just last month. I read it for a video collaboration with Sash from Sash Reads. I will link that down below. I actually did enjoy the first book. I just had a little bit of a hard time getting into it, but once I actually did enjoy it. I got a little bit confused towards the end, but I think it's just because at the time I was pretty much in a reading slump. So I think I would still want to continue it. That's why when I saw this in a bookstore, I picked it up. I didn't pick up the third and fourth yet because it wasn't available. I'm excited to read this one. I think I might do a little bit of a skim read of the last couple of chapters in the first book before I jumped into this one, because the last couple of chapters were kind of confusing. Yeah, that is Maggie Stiefvater, The Dream Thieves. The final book that I got for myself is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. I'm assuming it's like Italian, but let me know if that's incorrect. I have been seeing this all over BookTube and Bookstagram, and then recently I saw Sid from Sid Bookworm read this and actually really love it. So I got even more excited to read this one. So when I saw it, I just picked it up. All I know about this one is that she finds new husbands in the attic every so often. It's kind of like magical realism / literary, so I'm very excited to read that. And I also love this cover, The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. So these are actually all the books that I got for myself. These are all the books that are gonna go into my library, but I have a stack of books here that I also bought recently for my work's book club. So I do host the book club at work, and that means we get some, you know, company budget to spend on books that we want to read. So I did get quite a few. So some of this I've read, some of this I haven't. But I just wanted to share it with you because why not? It's a book haul. So the first one is Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. I have read very mixed, actually polarizing reviews of this book. Like, people seem to completely love it and completely hate it. So I'm not sure where I fall in the spectrum. I always love it when a book is so polarizing, because then I get curious and I want to see where I stand within the spectrum. I know that Andy Weir wrote The Martian, which I don't think I've read, but I did watch a film, so I don't know how truthful the film is to the book, but I think a lot of people like that. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And then the next one is a locally published book. It's My Lola's Love Letters, a novel by Ines Bautista Yao. So this says My Grandmother's Love Letters. So this, I believe, is it like essays? I'm not 100% sure, honestly. No, it's not. It's a novel. I got this because we wanted to read more Filipino books. It seems like a very heartwarming, uplifting story, and Lola, like grandmother, grandfather stories are always tearjerkers, so hopefully this one will be that. But yeah, I'm gonna be reading this pretty soon for a video that I'm doing because this is part of my Akdang Pinoy or Filipino Literature Readathon TBR, which is hosted by Kat from Kat and Angelico and Sai from The Engineers Reading. I'm gonna leave a link to the readathon down below, so I'm gonna be reading this pretty soon. The next one is a book that I recently read, which is The Quiet Ones by Glenn Diaz. This is also a book that is published in the Philippines by a Filipino author, and it's about this call center heist thing that went on, and I guess the lives that surround those people. This is more of like a literary fiction book. I initially thought it was gonna be like crime action thriller, but it's not. It's a very important that you know that it's not. It's literary through and through. So yeah, that is The Quiet Ones. I did already finish reading this. I'm gonna save my thoughts for that video. So yeah, another one from the local publishers. And then this one is a book that I've been very curious about. I have not read any book by this author, but I know that this author is well loved in the sci-fi thriller genre. So this one is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I have no idea what this is about. Like, I really don't know. This has been quite popular for a long time. I'm pretty sure I've seen this cover so many times, even in our local bookstores. I know that it is super popular and mainstream, but I've not read anything by Blake Crouch. Hopefully this was a good choice as a first book by him. Let me know if you've read anything by Blake Crouch, and let me know if you enjoyed this one as well. So this one is a new release, another romance. It's Ashley Poston's A Novel Love Story. The reason why I got this is because I wanted to get a romance for our book club, and I wanted something that I also haven't read yet. And this one was very interesting because it features a story wherein the main character gets transported into the fictional world of the books that she's reading. So it's very, interesting, especially as a reader who sometimes want to, be a part of the world, especially of the fantasy world that I'm reading in. This is kind of like scratching that itch, so I'm very curious about this. And I know that Ashley Poston wrote 7 Year Slip, which was super popular in the last couple of months. I've not read anything by her, and I'm just curious. I hope it's good. The cover is very colorful, not my favorite, honestly. But yeah, Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. It's also very floppy, which is very satisfying. So next one is a small one. It's Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. I have heard so much about this book and about this author in general. It's also quite tiny. I think I've heard about this book from Carrie Can Read. She really loves this one. No idea what it's about. I don't know when this was published. 1988, so it's a pretty old book. Literary fiction, I think so. But yeah, Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. The next one is also a book written by a Filipino author. It's Parts of a Song by Alexandra Romualdez. So I'm not quite sure what this is about. I just got a bunch of Filipino authored books because I want to make sure that I'm reading more of them. But it seems to have like a couple of different settings. Like it's set in Manila and then Fairfax, Virginia. It has verses. It has Singapore. I think it's like a literary romance novel. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Love the cover though. So hopefully that's good. I'm really trying to read more Filipino books. So yeah, that is Parts of a Song by Alexandra Romualdez. Second to last book is a book that I've already read, and it's Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. So I think I read this last year. Was it last year? I don't know anymore. But yeah, this is a book that is quite different from R.F. Kuang's usual books. And I think this is my first R.F. Kuang. And I did enjoy it. It's not my favorite book. Like, I had fun reading it. Yeah, I think if you read it without taking it too seriously. You will have so much fun with it, but at the same time, it speaks to a lot of issues in society, especially in publishing. Okay, I think it's a fun book. So that is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. And the final book is a book that I'm so excited about. I got Chess of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. So I wanted to include like a fantasy option for our book club that is a lot more approachable than the other like fantasy books, and I wanted something that's a standalone and also something that I haven't read before as well. So I thought about, you know, Chess of the Emerald Sea because I've heard good things about this, and I've heard that this is kind of like a cozy fantasy without it being super cozy. There's still like stakes, but it's not super intense as high fantasy, but it's still quite fun. And I like Brandon Sanderson's writing in Mistborn, so hopefully I love this one as well. Yeah, that is Chess of the Emerald Sea. I just wanted to do like a quick actual bookshelf tour because I think I just filmed like me setting up the bookshelves, and I have rearranged quite a bit since that clip was filmed. I just want to go through all the sections with you today. So the first one, the one that's like the biggest section by far, is my fantasy shelf. So I have adult fantasy in here at the top, and then it goes up until this book right here, and then this starts the young adult fantasy. I have everything organized alphabetically by author. These are just irregularly sized books, I suppose, and this is the Fairy Loot sort of binder where you can keep all of the cards that they give you when you have the book box. And I just haven't figured out really how to utilize this space, but I really want it here because I don't like it when there's like tall shelf spaces, so I just need to figure this out at some point. But yeah, that's what I have right now. So this is fantasy, and then I guess we move to the upper left. These has my classics, including modern classics and I guess poetry. I'm still not sure how to classify this one. It's probably sci-fi. I have to double check that. And then these are the secret books from Fairy Loot. They're just like they look like books, but they are boxes essentially. So I just have my bookmarks, my annotation supplies, and my tabs in there. And this is the first of its kind. a favorite author shelf. I just have so many V. Schwab, and I do like her books a lot. I also want to add like a shelf here, like this one, but I haven't bought that yet. So this is not going to be this empty because I hate it when it's that empty. And then below that, I have my mixture of mystery thriller, horror, because I don't have enough of each to make a separate section, so I just mix them all in there. So I have here, starting from pen pal up until this book actually. So these are all mystery thriller horror up until here, and then this starts historical fiction, so I just have that going up until the book thief, and then below I just have a bunch of life boxes. I don't like putting books at the very bottom if I can help it, because it gets dusty. I have dogs, it has a lot of fur, and just fur gets everywhere in there, so I just don't want that. So yeah, that is my mystery horror thriller shelf. Hopefully in the future I can like separate them, but for now this will do. And then if you move over to the right, I have also a mixture of my contemporary and literary fiction, I suppose. So it starts from Against the Loveless World, and then it goes all the way to Tomorrow. And then below that, I have all of my Filipino literature books. I actually have more, but I pulled them out because I'm reading them for a video. So I have like a divider in here, also another empty like secret book typing. This one is from Illumicrate. So I just have that. So this is a mix of different genres, but I did try to put all of the fantasy here, and then romance, and then literary, and I guess nonfiction. That's how I kind of organized it. But I don't have a lot of this yet. I'm trying to grow this, and eventually I wanted to fill the full shelf. And then over here, I have, this is like an odd assortment of books. So these are my only nonfiction books that are not Filipino. And then this one is a book that I'm borrowing from Pam. So I'm borrowing Annabelle, so I just have it in here. And then these are books that I keep in my bookshelf, but they're actually not mine. They're owned by my company because I host the book club in my company, and I can't leave the books in the office because we don't have like a safe space to store it in. So I just leave it here at home, and then if someone wants to borrow a book, they just let me know, and then I bring it in our next office day. That's what I have in here. And then if we go up again to the very top, this is my, I guess, my manga shelf. I literally only have Full Metal Alchemist and Rurouni Kenshin in there. These are the ones that I'm actually collecting. I only have until the 6th one, and then 10, 14, and 16. So I'm still buying that piece by piece. This is a book pot from Illumicrate. I have some bookmarks in here. This are manga that I bought from Japan secondhand, so this has like a special place in my heart. And these are just some, I think this was like the restoration, yeah, the restoration version of Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know what I want to do with those. I think I want to get rid of those, honestly, and just keep these ones. And then in here is another one of those tall shelves that I'm gonna buy another shelf at the top. And right now I just have my book sleeves in here and a random basket. And then these are remotes for some of the lights that I have in this room. So this is very random. I'm still working on this part. And then below that, I have my romance shelf. So I only have 2 shelves of romance, so this one and this one. The way I've organized this is that I have romance series at the top, and then the rest of my romance books. And these are 2 mystery books that I am keeping for a video. And then below that, I have even more random stuff. So these are middle grades. And then this one, I don't know what to classify this. It's like a novelization of something. I forget. I don't know how to classify this. I think this might go into adult fantasy, or is it romance? I don't know. And then these are the arcs that I have received, and just a random gotcha thing. And then these are, as I mentioned, I don't like putting books below here, but right now I'm keeping this separate because they are TBR for a future video that I'm working on. And then once I'm done with them, I put them back into their respective shelves. So yeah, so I guess that's a preview of my upcoming videos. So that is, hold on, let me get up. So that is my bookshelf. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm still annoyed that I can't get the same color of shelves like this one, but I have accepted my fate and made my peace with it. So yeah, this is my bookshelf, and I'm really happy that it's so big now, and I'm trying to keep it this way. and not add any more shelves. I have quite a lot of space still. This is very, very like loose, and I can still add more books. So I'm very hopeful that this space would be enough for me. Yeah, that is my bookshelf. So that's it. These are all the books that I got in the last 3 or 4 months. I know that some of these are for my book club, so it doesn't really count. It's not part of my library, but I still get to read those books, so I wanted to haul them and share them with you. And I'm so excited to read some of these books. I have some of them in my TBR for the next couple of videos that I'm working on, so I know that I'm gonna get to them. And yeah, if there's a book in here that you want me to prioritize reading, let me know, because I have a hard time picking for my physical TBR now that my library has grown quite a bit, but I'm very excited still. So yeah, thank you for watching and joining me for this video. I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!